It's time to rank which quarterfinal matchups will be most entertaining. From Copa America. First of all, we gotta do like a little bit sad moments of silence for the U.S. and Mexico, but mostly the U.S. because we're all mostly U.S. soccer fans. I assume, actually, who knows? Yeah, there's probably a lot of Mexican fans in here too. This is America, but they're not in the Copa America quarterfinals through the lack of quality. If you look at Mexico, through the lack of leadership, the U.S., not just from coaching but from the federation. You could argue the same thing with the federation issues amongst Mexico. Yeah, it's just a sad time, very sad time, as these are two countries that are preparing to host the World Cup in 2026. And they pull off this complete and utter embarrassment. It's just disgusting. But let's move on to the Copa America quarterfinals. Okay, I know clearly what's my number one. Okay, 4, Colombia, Panama. Look, Panama did well for themselves to get here. They took advantage of a red card opportunity. They knocked out the U.S. But yeah, this is where it ends for them. Clearly, the most one-sided quarterfinal. Colombia, they could probably put out a second team and beat Panama. No disrespect to Panama, but Panama are not at this quality. Panama are gonna sit in and observe and play in transition. No, as I fully expect them to. Even though I thought they performed pretty well against Bolivia, especially their response after going down. After Bolivia equalizing on them, which was a goal that could have potentially knocked them out. But then, they were continuing to go on and go at it. I thought also in that Uruguay game they showed some good signs. So I think they will be able to definitely keep it competitive with Colombia. I'm not saying they can't keep it competitive, but can they get it over the line? I don't think so. This Colombia team is 24-25 game unbeaten, and they continued that streak and won the group ahead of Brazil. By doing that, what can I say, bruh? They're clearly the better team over Panama. So yeah, I think that's the game that I'm least looking forward to. Number 3 will probably... Ooh, this is a good one. I'm gonna say Argentina, Ecuador. Because look, obviously this game has a lot more quality than the game I'm gonna say late on number 2. But this is a game that Argentina should win. Now, if Messi does not play, I might move this up higher in the list because I think it tips it even. I think Ecuador is also a very, very good team. Don't get me wrong. And I think this is a tight affair. I just don't think this is going to be as tight of an affair as what I have number 2. But Ecuador is a team with quality. But Ecuador is a team that's shown some bad signs in this Copa America. When you look at what they did in that second half against Jamaica, that second half against Mexico, having to be under pressure throughout, having to survive against a weak Mexico team, and if Mexico had any sort of real quality or any real cutting edge, they would probably be the team in this quarterfinal taking on Argentina. But we don't get that. We get Argentina, Ecuador. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Ecuador has the quality to threaten Argentina. Don't get me wrong. But Argentina, these are the kind of times that they win. I think Argentina are going to be sound defensively. Very, very sound. Don't give up much space. And find their opportunities to win on moments as they've done. I think Lionel Scaloni is in that sort of Deschamps fold as a manager. Deschamps, Lionel Scaloni, I think that's everything Gareth Southgate wants to be with England. Those kind of managers. Lionel Scaloni, he gets this team playing so well, and he gets the best out of the likes of McAllister, Rodrigo De Paul, all that. Yeah, I think Argentina will be able to get that over the line. Number two, I say Venezuela, Canada, because this is a game that, in my opinion, very tight affair. Now, if you look at quality, obviously Canada got the better players amongst Jonathan David, Alfonso Davis, um, Kyle Larin, Buchanan, who went out, is actually out now with the injury, bad injury on as well. Disappointing for him, and he's an important part of Canada. But still, there's still a lot of quality amongst this team. You know, they play in transition. That's how they got the goal to beat Peru. But it's a team that's not had the best Copa America despite moving on. They've, done the bare minimum, playing 90 plus minutes against teams with red cards. Really taking advantage of two games where they played up a man for long stretches in the game that got them the 4 points that were needed. But now they're in the quarterfinals. They're taking on a Venezuela team that is perfect. And despite the fact that they have more quality as a team than Venezuela, Venezuela's coming in with a lot more momentum, winning 3 games. But Venezuela, they are not this, they have 9 points, but they're not some world beater team. Amongst quality, they have some decent players, but no game-changing type of players. They still rely on a Salomon Rondon, who, we know from his days and playing in the Premier League. Nowadays, I believe he plays his club football in Qatar, I believe. Qatar? No, he actually plays in Mexico. Okay. Plays his club football in Mexico, but he's still leading the line for them. But but no, it's very important for Canada to get this done, because you're not gonna get to play a team despite not winning the group, getting to play Venezuela. I think Canada would have took that. I think Jesse Marsh, this is the where he can really prove the level he is. They've been really, really poor in the group stages, but they got it done. And if you get it done, no one cares about how poor you are. Nobody's talking about them being poor. Everyone is talking about them being in the quarterfinals, and now they have a chance against Venezuela to potentially open up a rematch of Argentina take care of business with them in the semifinal. That would be big for Canada. Move on to the final game, Uruguay-Brazil. No Vinicius Jr. here. Brazil really been suffering. Brazil had every opportunity not to play this game because they only needed to beat Colombia to get Panama instead. But Brazil weren't able to get it done to beat Colombia, and now they're rewarded by playing Uruguay. And Vinicius, he got that second yellow card in that tie with Colombia, so he's out for this game. Brazil, honestly, in big trouble. Uruguay, so good defensively. Don't give up much. Don't give up many good chances. And then in transition with the likes of Darwin Nunez, Pelestri, goes on and on. The midfield for Uruguay, some ball players and some grit in there with Ugarte, Valverde. There's some real grit amongst the team. I think De La Cruz also. He's a typical Uruguayan player, De La Cruz. A very typical Uruguayan player. Defensively with Araujo, Oliveira, Vina, Nandes, they don't give up much space. You got quality options off the bench like the Arrasqueta, who gives you a little bit of that 10, but that has a capacity of getting into the box and scoring a goal at the same time. Bentancur, Caceres, Jose Jimenez off the bench. There's depth amongst this team. With Brazil, there's no real fear factor with them anymore. They're not tidy enough in the final third. And there's no flair amongst this team of previous Brazils. So for me, this team might be in trouble. And with no Vinicius, who's, in the game that they showed us, good signs in Paraguay, he was the difference maker. He was the deadly man. in that game, and now he's not even there. Look out. Brazil could be going home very early at this Copa America against Uruguay. But that is the number one game of this quarterfinals for in the Copa America.